This is Shock Life Confessions podcast with me, Reza Abraham. Today's guest is someone who act and voice will sure spark joy in your face and in your heart. He's a Malaysian actor, singer, songwriter, comedian, television presenter, radio host, and MC. The king of Malaysian parody and the minister of comedy, the lovely, lively, and funny Douglas Lim.
That is such a long intro, man.
Yeah.
Usually people go like, and ladies and gentlemen, Douglas Lim. Like you told my entire story. I don't need to say anymore.
Did you like it?
Yeah,
Okay,
it was very well written.
Yeah.
Your accent is weird though. Like,
Why is it accent?
I don't know. I don't understand. You had a slight Chinese twang. I kind of, it doesn't match your face. Your name is Reza Abraham.
Yes.
Man, I like this, man.
Oh,
no one can tell what you are.
It's always the case. Like, so whenever I introduce myself, like people always are like, "You're not Malaysian, but you look like Malaysian."
No, you are.
Like Malaysian.
You are. You are 100%. This is what Malaysia is.
Yeah.
Like this whole mix.
Yeah. Now, I mean, when I first come to Malaysia, of course, I wanted to pick up the language, right? So I went and attend classes by CD, DVD, trying the language. But whenever I go to the office, I try. So I say like "Selamat pagi," then they all say like, good morning, and then we continue in English. So that's why we only pick up the first part.
Okay. That's why you have a slight Chinese accent as well, because you were watching all these VCDs.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
But this show is about you.
Sure, man.
So we want to get to know you.
Right.
All right. Great. So when you were a kid, what did you want to become growing up? Like, what do you write in your school? The card thing.
Because you jumped to standard 1, so under ambition, right? When you have to write in standard 1.
Yes.
So yeah, it was so weird now why I would do that. I would write lawyer, I would write scientist. There was one I wanted to be a toy maker. Because at that time there were not much computer games, but toys, board games. So I want to be a toy maker. I guess that kind of means I would like to get into gaming in nowadays terms. But the story that's told to me by my parents, before that, when I was 3 or 4 years old, because my dad's in the military, so we were always at the Air Force bases around Malaysia, and all the kids there would want to be what their father is or what their mother is, which would be Air Force pilot, soldier, Navy, and apparently I said clown.
In that discipline environment or more.
Yes, and so I think maybe that was my kid brain's version of comedy. When you're a kid, I guess, what's comedy to you as a child? Cartoons? Clowns? So I maybe even back then I was kind of veering towards a career in comedy or in making people laugh.
So what was the age like, that you figure out maybe I'm funny or I have a sense of humor? Because sense of humor is one of the things that they say, like, you're born with it. So either you're funny or you're not funny. Like there's always like some people trying to be funny, but they're not funny. So when was the time that you realized, like, I got it?
I think it was when I started joining other forms of performing arts. So I was in a choir. For like the church Sunday school, I would be in plays. In school, I would also do choral speaking and all of these other performance-based stuff. And I would always try and get a laugh from that. So if I'm doing
So this is what age?
I would say 9.
Okay.
Yeah, so even in a choir, I would sing a song but do a weird face while doing it, or purposely when everybody's singing it properly, I would just do a falsetto high voice just to get the laugh. So I think I was not content in doing that particular art form to the best of my ability. I wasn't content with that. I needed to somehow poke and get the people to react and laugh. And I think maybe that's when it was like kind of comedy would be one way to go. But saying that though, I also wanted to be a serious actor.
Yep.
And I singer-songwriter, like this is before Yuna. So I was the original Yuna, just not successful at all.
We will get to Yuna later. Yeah. So is it like
just ridiculously not successful?
So, but this humor, does it come from family? Like, have you inherited from someone, your dad, your mom?
No, my parents. No, my dad military.
Okay.
You can't be funny when you're in the military. People like you could die. So yeah, there was no jokes from my dad. My dad was incredibly strict. My household was very strict. My mom is Hakka, so not much jokes there. Young Taufu lah, maybe, but like not. Yeah, so I would say maybe my granddad. He told me my first. I think he told me my first joke, if I'm remembering it correctly, because he was in charge of driving us, my brother and myself, driving us to school. So he would take my parents' car, drive to school, and then he would go and do his own stuff. And he always bring the car back, right? And then my mom would complain because it's her dad. My mom would be like, "Oh, you're that grandpa. Every time take the car, go out, come back, always empty. Never fill up petrol. Always E empty." So I made the comment to my grandfather one day. We were driving, and I said, "Grandpa, mom complaining. Why you come back always E?" So my grandfather was, "No, E is enough." I was like, E is enough. Now what is F? F is finished. So yeah, maybe that was the first joke. Yeah.
Yeah. So you found it interesting, like seeing people laugh or having fun.
I found it addictive. When I did something and people reacted and this many people laughed, I wanted it again and again and again and again. It became an obsession. Now I'm a bit more relaxed. Yeah, I'm less playful.
What's interesting about your type of like comedy is that you laugh with your joke too. It's like some comedians like very serious. They say something you don't expect it, and then you're like funny. But you say it and you laugh with it, and then people laugh from your laugh too. So it's a double shot.
Yeah. Well, it's not that uncommon. I think a lot of people do it. I think if you look at stand up, you see Chappelle doing it. You see Michael McIntyre would do it sometimes. The deadpan comedians not so much, but then that's a character. They're not really like that. So comedians, a lot of times when we're writing a joke, we are laughing in our head. We just don't. We don't do it. Of course. And again, it depends. Some people enjoy it that the comedian is also having fun.
Yes.
But you gotta be careful. Your jokes actually need to be funny also. Being funny and having fun, they may look the same, but they're not.
Yes.
Just because you're having fun doesn't mean you're funny. So you gotta be funny first.
Yes.
And then have some fun while you're on stage. I think that's okay. See, but I know some comedians, no jokes, just themselves laughing on stage. Not funny. I would not recommend.
So what do you call a teacher on a ship?
What do I call a what?
A teacher on a ship.
It's a pun joke, right? It's some education ship. It's a scholarship.
So...
Well, you're gonna rate that?
So you earn a degree in teaching English as a second language.
Yeah.
So why did you teach? Why did you choose teaching English? Why did you choose teaching? So,
I was gonna teach Portuguese, but I don't speak Portuguese. No. What happened was after I finished my degree after SPM. My parents were not well off, so I had to go the scholarship route. And so scholarships that were available for non-Bumiputras were heavily in the sciences. I got zero science, man. I got no math. I was in art stream. So I was looking at whatever courses I could take within the scholarship that I could apply my skills to, and teaching was one of them. And so not only did I originally already have the skills of having English as pretty much my first language. So my first language is English, my second is Malay, my third is Chinese, right? So I already knew English. I got that part right. And then I was also male. Most people who do the teaching degree, female.
Yeah. Okay.
They needed more male teachers. So I got into the program, and so that was why I chose TESOL as my degree. Because traditional Chinese family, you should get a degree first and then pursue whatever you want, if not that degree. And so I chose that to tick off that criteria.
But that's something that you did a lot well also during like the pandemic time when you do a lot of YouTube things. So you had a lot of like role of a teacher, and then you do a lot of jokes.
Oh,
Was it like, your degree coming out and say like, use me at some point?
maybe, man. I didn't think of that. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. There are a lot of. Well, I suppose communicating clearly and effectively is something that applies if you're a teacher, as well as a stand-up comedian or an entertainer. Except for a teacher, I think the stakes are a bit higher, which is why at the end of it, although I got my degree, I decided to go into entertainment was because I felt the responsibilities of a teacher was a lot more, and I think if you fail someone as a teacher, you do a big disservice to them, to him or her, Whereas an entertainer, if I fail to entertain you, go home and read a book lah. Like, what's the problem, man? Your life gonna end, is it? But a teacher, if you fail
Go
your
and talk to your
students,
teacher.
but a teacher, if you fail your students,
Yeah.
the ramifications could be quite serious. So I think, the teaching side of me was, I think, scared to fail there. Whereas in the comedian side of me, I just like seeing people laugh.
Right. So one of your iconic character is the character called Yuni, the super sweet Yuni.
Yeah.
So tell us how did you come up with that character? And then
It was so okay. How did I do this? All right. It started off with the idea of the song first. So Yuni as a character was created to serve my joke. My joke was not about Yuni.
Sure.
My joke was about this song that is so stupid. So the song that I had in my head at the time was Tidak Ku Fahami, which means I do not understand. It's very poetic, right, in Malay language. So this song is called Tidak Ku Fahami, and the song was just like ha 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 ha. So it's ha. So that was the joke, and then the follow up to that song was. It was a fast number. It was like and that title was Saya Sudah Faham. So that was the joke. I just needed a character to present that joke, and that's how I created Yuni. I was like, okay, I've met Yuna. I can probably do that. I have a pink towel I can tie my, I've got a guitar at home I can play. Yeah. So then Yuna, the Yuni character became that to service the joke. Yeah.
So your first passion also was in the same line. So you wanted to be a singer.
Singer-songwriter, yeah.
So that's like, you do have that like singing in you, So this character that you came up with, was it like talking about like something that you wanted to be? Does it has like any relation with your first passion?
Oh. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I enjoy singing. I still do. I probably don't see myself doing it professionally to entertain large audiences. I don't think. I think my skills in terms of a singer songwriter stagnated 20 years ago because I kind of stopped doing it, And so I enjoy it. Recently, I did a rap. A hip hop number with Sona One. It's called Adu. So I really enjoyed recording it and working with Sona One. But we had to perform it one day, and I was a bundle of nerves. I didn't know what to do, and Sona was like, "No, man, it's fine. You got this." I said, "You got this, lah. I got this. I haven't done this for how long?" So it's still very exciting. So exciting, but I don't think I'm at a level where I can entertain people through my music. I think I would probably just have the comedy in front, but singing will always supplement that, I would think. Yeah.
Okay. So like coming back home, usually for me, the way to chill off, I always listen to daily shows or like late night shows,
comedy shows.
Comedy shows in general, like from Trevor Noah, Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel. So what do you listen to, like if you want to get some knowledge? Because to me, I don't like to listen to the like news like BBC and all those, like to get my news.
Okay.
So normally I like to know about the news from the lens of comedian, because they explain it very well. And there is an element of like fun there. So what do you do to to chill off and get your knowledge at the same time?
Yeah, so that I rarely do that at the same time. So when I chill, I try not to be working as well. So when I chill, I play video games.
Okay.
Yeah, so I kill evil monsters with spells from far away because I'm a coward. Like, so I'm not the barbarian that goes in there, man. So that's when I chill. How news? I think a lot of my news is now from social media. It's Twitter and stuff like that. It's YouTube. So I would get news, the online portals, and that's where I try and get the news to be as neutral as possible without a lens.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would.
Without somebody like
Without
basically
somebody
already.
yeah. So I don't want a commentary of the news. I want the news. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me know what the points are, and then let me find the funny. Because if I listen to a commentary of a news, that's already the funny. It's already colored. It may not be true. I don't know. Yeah.
That's true. So have you ever considered like daily shows or late night shows? Like you're a perfect candidate for doing that.
I think I'll be good at certain segments of the show. I wouldn't be good at the interview segments of the show. Because I've discovered that I am very interested in myself and not other people. You can tell I lose interest very fast as I'm interviewing somebody. If it's yeah, because I've done that before. It's horrible. I was on a breakfast show and we had to interview somebody, and I had no interest in what this person was doing or talking about. And you could see in my eyes, I just kind of like, can we just end the show?
So how do you differentiate between comedians? Like when you see them, so there are like different comedians. So some of them are like they can tell a joke and they also can sing. Some of them they're just a pure comedian. Some of them they can dance and do comedy. How do you categorize comedian in your head?
Oh, I think I would say I can't give you a number, but okay. So there are what is called comic actors. In Malaysia, a lot of people mistake comic actors for comedians. Comic actors would be in Malaysia, Shaizi Sam. Roy Azman, the guy Pak Azad. These are comic actors. That means you give them a funny role, they will bring the roof down with that role because they can act. But you got to give them lines, give them generally an idea of what to do, and they would do it to the best of their ability in a TV show, in that setting, or in a theatre production in that setting. Comedians are people who actually write their own material. So you can't be a comedian if you're not writing your own material. Or at least you have a team that write with you.
Okay.
So you're not just performing a role. Yeah. So I would say that would be the one category. To make the comic actor. Then the comedian also is different. So are you a sketch comedian or are you a stand-up comedian? So sketch comedians are Key and Peele, the Sklar Brothers. Sklar Brothers is actually collaborative comedians. Sorry, that one is interesting. Imagine stand-up but done by two people.
Oh.
Yeah. So you have to be so good, that one, because you are both telling the same story, but one after another.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And America, there's these two black dudes, black brother. I forget their name now. I met them in Melbourne. They were very good. So then there are the what I do. You can call me an observational comedian. Is where I look at things that are happening, and then that's a bit weird. Let me question it. They're the anecdotal comedians. These are people who tell you a funny story. That day I went to the supermarket and this happened. Then of course there are the physical comedians, also now known as clowning, where they a lot of audience interaction. So I can't tell you how many segments there are, but I think any branch of comedy, if done well, will be entertaining. if done badly, will be.
So which one you aspire to be?
I'm currently a observational comedian.
Okay.
But I really want to do a lot more comic acting if I can, in Malay productions. To go in and make Malaysians laugh through that medium lah, through Malay films, Malay TV.
Okay. Will Rogers, he has this very famous quote. It say like, now it's like a very weird time. People are taking comedians very seriously, and they're taking politicians like, as a joke. So how do you decide which like politicians or which political topic, so you can like add a bit of like humor into it and you can get away with it, and you are very good at that? So like, what is your selection criteria and how do you make sure you do it well?
I think the first thing is making sure, trying to do not attack the person. So don't attack the person, but is what are we? I'm not upset at the person. I'm upset at what he said or what she said or what they did. So you focus on that. Regardless of who said it. And so if it is a political issue, what is that issue? So that's what you're hitting. Reading the room is also very important. You need to know what the sentiment is. If people are opposing, if people don't like it, why do they not like it? What has happened before? What could this unpopular move lead to? Which would be, and why is it that a lot of people hear, hey, I cannot brain. Why can't you brain it? And so use those bits to formulate the joke. And then what I do is write a whole extended metaphor. So people say it's parody. People call it parody. I feel parody is mostly for music only, but what I would call it an extended metaphor. So for example, if it is about a bunch of leaders who are fighting among themselves and bickering over who can save the rakyat better, who can save them more, you or me or the other person, then I would use an extended metaphor where I have a bunch of lifeguards arguing over who can save this drowning person more while the fella drowns. So am I talking about politics? No, I'm talking about lifeguard. Swimming pool, I don't know. But if you know, you know.
So, like, when you are delivering a content in front of a group of people that you don't know much about them. So let's say, for example, you go to a new country, you go to a new like industry or a corporation or something. So what's your preparation look like? Like, what do you need to know? How do you find out? Like,
yeah. So first of all, try to know a lot more. I very rarely go in not knowing anything.
Okay.
So I will ask the organizer, hey, you asked me to come to tell jokes to a bunch of people. Who are they? What's your breakdown? Male, female breakdown, age group, racial breakdown if possible. Have you had a comedian before? Who was it? Did they like the comedian? What type of comedy did they like? Which joke did? Because I know the comedians in Malaysia. So, we've had Jason before. Which joke did they like? So that I can kind of paint. So I like to paint a picture of my audience before I go in to give me the biggest advantage. Because if you go in not knowing anything, you make the battle a lot more difficult, and that's not helpful at all. So I try and whatever lobang of in the knowledge that I have, I try and fill that with as much as possible. And also, so for example, if I go to another country, I went to Melbourne to do comedy. I'll be like, okay, this particular show, is it my show? Are most of the Malaysians in Melbourne coming, or is it a lineup show where it's 100% Australians who are going? Well, if that's the case, even though, let's say I am on a list, I am number 5. There's a list of 10 comedians, I'm number 5. Don't just show up after number 4 and do your jokes. No, show up from the start. Listen to number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. See what they like.
Okay.
See what's what the room is. Try and guess the bias, and then play to your strength. Play to your strength and also their preference.
That's true. That's true. First time when we met up during one of these corporate talks. So you were doing the comedy, I was talking after you. So when I was like standing there behind scene, I was like watching you performing, you're doing like a damn good job. You're very, very good at what
Thank
you're
you.
doing. So what?
I was
what is,
telling jokes. Yeah, I was doing stand-up.
yeah.
Okay.
So what else you do?
I have no idea. Who knows? Catering.
So you're very good at what you're doing.
Thank you.
So it was like awesome, and I think I felt it was a very hard job to do it after you. So what is your creative process look like? So how do you write content? So if let's say, okay, so you have a show next week, how long does it take for you to do it? What is like, the process, creative process for you look like?
Oh, I don't write a new show for a new audience unless it's my public show. So if you're talking about, let's say, Douglas Lim and maybe with some of my friends doing our own comedy show, it's a big ticketed event at ZEP or Plenary Hall or HGH. Yeah, then I would write a whole new 40 minutes, for that. But if you're talking about corporate events, like the ones you watch, for example, those jokes are, I've got 3 corporate sets that I rotate. And this is
also you have like a set of like,
yes.
Okay, so these are the 3 topics that I have. Which one is more?
Yeah, the 3 sets. So
okay.
Of jokes.
So the jokes are different.
Yeah, the jokes are different. And so I would have an assistant to write out what jokes I told for company A at what year. So then I know if company A calls me back the next year, don't tell the same jokes.
Yeah.
Change the jokes. Yeah.
So as someone who has been like, you have a deep experience in entertainment industry. So you have done a lot of work. You have done from like singing, acting, comedian, and all those stuff. Okay. So I'm gonna ask you like I'm gonna just tell you each one of those items, those profession, and I want you to tell me like what do you love about it and what do you like hate or dislike or despise or whatever. But one word. Don't make it too long. Okay.
What do I like about? So do I go like first and dislike?
Okay, like you can go with that. Yes.
So I'll do this. I'll do like and I'll do dislike.
Tell us like what do you like about it?
Yeah, but what I'm telling
let's
you.
say for example, let's go with the first one. Okay. Singing. So what do you love about it? What do you dislike about it?
Okay. Singing. What I like is there is music in the background to help you. Yeah. What I dislike is if you gotta stick to the music, because if you forget the music just continues. The music is gonna stop for you to remember your lyrics.
Yeah. Okay. So acting.
What I like is you get to be someone else, and the dialogue is done for you. So you just to execute the acting. What I don't like is waiting. Acting is 90% waiting, my friend. You're just waiting for everyone, because
like 90%.
90% of acting is waiting, because you're waiting for makeup, for wardrobe, for camera, for lighting, for the other actor to show up, for the director, it's waiting. Yeah.
Comedian.
Stand up. What I like is the instant feedback, because no other. Can I go a bit longer for this one?
Can.
Correct answer. Now I'll tell you why. This is important. The feedback in stand-up comedy is instant.
Yes.
Very rarely do other art forms have instant feedback. You do a film, your feedback comes 2 years later after the film is out. A song also you perform, at least 3 minutes. You sing the full song, finish, then people clap hand, whether they like or don't like. Stand-up comedy, I throw the joke within 1 second, you don't laugh. You don't laugh, I failed it. So what I like about stand-up is the instant feedback. It is you know you're doing well. What I dislike about it is also instant feedback, because you know you suck at the same time.
Okay, MC.
What I like is the fact that I am. People are not here to watch me. They are here for the event. I'm just facilitating the event and making it as fun as possible. What I like about it. What I dislike about it is sometimes very long, and different people are telling me different things. In Malaysia, because a lot of times A will say, "Hey, invite the boss now." B will say, "No, don't invite the boss." So what's going on? Yeah, so it's a lot of communication problems.
Okay, radio host.
Or what I like about radio was that it gave me a very nice schedule because I've been freelance for so long. Radio was Monday to Friday. This is my schedule. You got to be disciplined about that. What I didn't like was Malaysian radio. Oh man, the censorship is next level, dude. and things, I can't even fight it because the radio station is the one that ends up getting in trouble for what I said or accidentally blurted out.
Yes.
You know.
So the last one is the one that you just learned it recently. It's like digital content creator.
Oh yeah, what I like about it, is you pretty much on your own. You do whatever you like based on you self censor yourself. You know, so it's better that way. A lot more creative freedom. That's what I like. What I don't like about it is the amount of being a native creator takes a lot of time, and for me in comedy, when I think up the joke, I'm happy. I write the joke, I am excited. I perform the joke, I am fulfilled. As far as I'm concerned, I'm done. In social media, you are not done. Because then I got to subtitle the damn thing.
Okay.
I've got to edit the whole thing. I got to put the hashtags.
Yes.
I got to figure out what hashtags I need to put, what time I should post this video. Then I got to respond to the comments to make sure the algorithm picks it up.
A lot of work.
Yeah, because my happiness finished already. I performed. The joke is there. So social media requires you to do everything else.
So which one required so these are like basically all the things that you have done. So which one required more work to do?
Oh, I would say for me the one I felt I was doing the most work was radio.
Radio.
Because this is preparation. The preparation was a lot, and the commitment and the discipline. So I think everything else, for stand up to write my joke for stand up, I can take my time. I can unless I've got a deadline that I've got to meet. But and for social media also actually because you want to make sure you get your content out before it becomes bussy, before it becomes yesterday's news. Then nobody's watching it anymore. But radio, I felt the workload was really heavy, man.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what's the largest audience you have ever performed in front of them?
What, live?
Live.
Or online?
You can go for both.
Oh, live would be, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was 2,000 to 3,000 people. That was in St Kilda in Melbourne, the Palais Theatre. Beautiful, very nice. And then online, I think there was one time I did, and it was like 20,000 people, 30,000 people watching. So that was fun. Yeah.
Okay. And so what do you like most? Do you like small audience or large audience?
It doesn't matter. I mean, of course, a big audience, if they are into the show, is excellent. The atmosphere is electric. The laughs can go on for 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 1 minute, and you're just sitting there soaking this in. But getting if these 2,000 people are there to watch me, then okay, it's easy. It's easier.
Okay.
Because they are invested. They want to watch me.
Yes.
But imagine if I go to a conference and there are 2,000 people at this conference, and I am the stand-up comedian to entertain them during the break time. Not easy to get 2,000. Not easy for all of them to pay attention to me. I would rather do a smaller room of 110. Easier.
That's true.
They're not too far. 2,000. They can't even see you. They're so far away. You need to be on a big screen. If there's no big screen, you're just a dot.
Yeah. So in one of your interview, you share being diagnosed with a depression. This is back in 2019.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So would you mind sharing a little bit about what brought you to that point, and what are the key lessons that you learned actually from that experience you can share with our audience here?
Oh, okay. So I think what happened that year was, it was quite a packed year. In January, I had a musical. February, I had a musical to do, Istana Budaya. March, go to Melbourne Comedy Festival. April, June, New York for a theatre production. come back. I had to finish writing a sitcom as head writer, and then act and direct the sitcom, and then do the MACC, which is our the stand-up comedians that I hang with, and do our farewell tour, which is a big stand-up show. We went across the country, even to Hong Kong and Australia and all this. So I think it was going to be a very packed year. And in January, when I was doing the musical, when I realized and it dawned upon me how big of a load the year was going to be, I started getting panic attacks, which was very new. I remember just being in the car at the parking lot of the theatre, about to go in for the musical, and just, your heart has this, the fear just grips your heart. And I was like, what is this? I was like, a panic attack, right. And then it just continuously built as the time got closer and closer and closer and closer. And by the time I finished New York, I came back, and then just writing the sitcom, I went through something that is the biggest fear for every comedian, is when you don't find things funny anymore. So I would watch a sitcom, I would watch a stand-up comedian, and I will know where the jokes are because I'm in the same industry. So I know what technique he's using, I know what tools he's using, I know where he's going, I know what the joke is, I know when he hit the punchline. But I just did not find it funny. I found nothing funny. And so then we were like, okay, I think we're in trouble. So then we went and checked. All right, biologically there was something wrong with me, hormonally. And then went to just do so clinically a bit, you're depressed, so take medication, and then support from my colleagues, and my family, my wife, and then you come out of that lah. But I was told that it will most likely happen again, except that now maybe I'm more aware of what the clues are, what the symptoms are, number one, and number two, I will not be so gripped by the fear lah. Because I think when it happened, you feel like if your entire life you have one superpower, right, or no superpower lah, your whole life you have one power, and then that power is taken away. Like, what do you do, man? And you got deadlines, you've made promises, you got to deliver.
Yes.
And I guess so now I learned that, okay, I know the techniques. I may not find it funny, but I know what needs to be there for it to be funny. And just trust the process, I guess.
But I think comedian, one of the things about them is like, because they are like very genuine in what they're doing, and then so they are not like, it's not like trying to be funny or acting to be funny. You are naturally funny. So it's like having that like natural ingredients of fun is what makes it really, really exciting. Is that true?
I can't speak for every comedian. Maybe because I would say not 100% true, because there are some comedians who are miserable people.
Okay.
They're really miserable, but their brain is that, I'm miserable, and I'm going to talk about how miserable I am, and that is funny to other people because they are not miserable.
Okay.
They are looking at you, what a miserable guy. It's funny for people, but I am like what you say. I generally I find a lot of things funny. I'm quite easily amused by people and by myself. And so for me, when I lost that, it was very frightening time.
Okay. So they say that when you are younger, you need to say yes to like everything, but as you get older, so you only say yes to very, very small number of things. So what Douglas say yes to now?
I would say yes to Malay dramas, films, hosting a game show.
Are you promoting your future jobs?
Jobs, yeah.
These are the things. Come to me.
Huge promotions, marketing stuff, marketing campaigns. Yeah, I would say yes to those.
Okay,
definitely.
That's great. So, how is Douglas at home? Are you like funny person? Most importantly, your wife laughing at your jokes?
I don't do jokes To my wife. I mean, there's no reason.
Who do you test your jokes on? Like, where do you test it? In your own head.
Yeah. So it's actually very bad. Okay, it's not good. What you're supposed to do, for those of you who are listening and watching, you want to be a comedian, what you're supposed to do is go to a comedy club, watch open mic nights. These are people, amateurs doing 3 minutes. Watch that, understand what they do, and if you want to do it, go home, write 3 minutes of material, and then go and test. That is there. So there are places right now in Malaysia where you can go and test your material. The problem is when I started doing comedy, these clubs did not exist. So everything was here. I just tested them in my head. In my head, I'm going, I think this is quite funny. Let's go. Yeah. So you shouldn't do that. But that's how. So I wouldn't write my set out and then go to my wife and just sit down for 40 minutes. I need to listen to me because she's not going to find it funny. It's going to be very irritating.
Okay.
Yeah, but I like to play pranks. And I like to small jokes. Like you know, this is stupid. Okay, so you know, if I want to distill it to be in this very basic form okay, so something is funny if there is a glitch in the pattern. So you're expecting a pattern, right?
Okay.
But if I glitch it,
yes,
then it's a and then you laugh. So for example, if I say, okay, tonight what you want to eat for dinner? And then I go, breakfast So I'm not telling her a joke, but I'm causing a glitch in the pattern. So then she will maybe be shocked a bit, laugh a bit, and then go, can we please answer the question properly, you idiot? You know.
So is she still find it entertaining?
Yeah, no, she'll find it. Yeah,
okay.
she still laughs.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. But I don't like sit her down and go like, hey, you know the problem with milk containers? Like, nah, that's not gonna work.
So.
No, wait, can I tell you? Can I tell you this one? So, during PKP, I was ketua keluarga, right? So I had to go and do all the grocery shopping. So I was quite good at it already. For a year and a half, I would get all the stuff. But my wife she would give me the list to go and buy. But then she'd be like, why you never check the egg quality of the egg? Why you never check? I got no time to check. Like, we have to open thing, check 12 eggs. Are you mad? I'll just grab the egg, see the expiry date. If it's not done, I'll bring home. So then recently she started to do the groceries again. So she went there. You know, this mad woman, right? She was smelling the vegetable, you know. You know, this is in the vegetable aisle. We were shooting leeks and something. So she was smelling. I said, what are you doing? Just pick it up. Because no, I have to check. If it's check the smell, I said, oh, you see this is how my wife, when she smells in the vegetable, okay, you know, I do the same thing in the spender shop. Oh, pervert. So
okay. So to finish things off, we have these little final confession games that we're gonna have like a series of like a quick 5 random questions.
All right.
I'm gonna ask you, and let's see what's your answer.
Okay. The questions are gonna be quick fire, or the answers are gonna be quick fire?
No,
Both.
my questions are like one sentence, so your answer gotta be like really one word or something. Yes.
Oh dear.
So.
Can I
Ready?
pass?
Oh, you will. Yeah. So who's your comedy idol locally?
Don't have. I mean, there are people I admire, but they're not idol. They're not my comedy idol. Yeah.
Okay, who is your comedy idol
internationally?
internationally?
Internationally, Chappelle. I would say first, Michael McIntyre, and Bill Burr.
Okay, so what is your favorite joke that always works?
You want to tell the joke?
If you can tell.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
it's so hard when somebody says, tell one joke.
No, actually, I get these questions all the time, and so I actually prepared a list of jokes. I have a list of jokes to tell people. Okay. So 2 aliens. you know alien? You know alien? Okay.
Yes.
So 2 aliens are walking in the jungle, and then the first alien looks down and goes like, hey alien, you see? Looks like deer tracks. And the second alien goes, no lah alien, this look like tiger tracks . Then the first one goes, hey no lah alien, I think I look properly, this is rhinoceros tracks . And he goes, hey no lah alien, you look properly, I think this is antelope tracks . And they were arguing for about an hour, then they got hit by a train.
That's a glitch exactly there, right?
That's a funny joke.
So, so what's your favorite venue to perform at?
I really like Istana Budaya.
So do you have like a go-to joke for breaking the ice when you open up?
Yeah, it's my discount joke. I can't tell it because then I can't use it anymore. But it's a joke about how the company hired me, asked for a discount. Okay.
So who inspire and influence your work the most?
My life here in Malaysia. So it's not who, I think it's just where I am.
Where?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the craziest things that happened to you on stage?
I had an old man who was not happy with my jokes throw a pillow at me.
Really?
Yeah, dude, it was a slumber party. so they were all in pajamas and there was like cushions and stuff, and I was very young in my career, so he didn't like it. He took a pillow, was like, get off, and he flung it at me.
So what's the scariest things for a comedian on stage?
When you start off wrong, when you start off, you accidentally offend somebody, or you start off with a joke that the audience are just not.
So the whole
into.
energy.
Yeah. So you're just fighting to get them back on your side, and that's very scary. The other thing is prawns.
Prawns.
Yeah, when you're performing, and if the prawns come out, go home lah. You cannot fight prawn. You guess you got to eat prawn. You got to go down and peel the prawn. No one will pay attention to the joker on stage.
Oh. So you mean when they are eating? And
Yeah. So no, when the vegetables come out, I'm fine. I got no problem. But when the prawns come out, you give up. Go home.
So, that's the hardest type of audience as well.
What's that?
The one that like people are eating and then you are performing.
Yeah. So usually I tell them, I say when I'm performing, please stop service. So I would say, if let's say the fish comes out, give them 10 minutes to eat, and then important stop service. So a lot of hotels banquets stop service, then they go and clear. Don't clear, because once you clear people's plate, they'll be like, oh, finish. I go out lah. I go out, have a oxygen. So don't leave the plate there. Let them finish eating 10 minutes. Leave the plate there. Slowly off the lights. Waiters, don't stop walking around. Bring me on.
Okay, interesting. So who would be your dream audience to perform for?
What do you mean? Like what, audience member or a type of people, or like I don't understand.
Type of people.
Sporting people, I guess, but like people who just want to come out and have a laugh. Yeah. I think
Okay.
The very self-righteous, important people, very hard to get them to laugh. Irritating.
So what's the best advice you ever received about comedy?
Your jokes is not your jokes are. Bro, Tessa, look at that. Okay. Lucky I stopped teaching. Okay. The best advice I got, right? Your jokes are not the be all and end all of your performance. There are a lot of other elements you have to consider to make that stand-up performance, that comedy performance, successful and enjoyable for everyone.
Nice. So, thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome,
for
man.
being with us. It was really an honor talking to you. I know what you're gonna say. So, guys, let's end this episode with a quote from Douglas himself. So he says, like, business is not a laughing matter. You want to complete it?
But in business, laughing matters. Like them smart, huh?
All right, guys. Till then, make sure you live to laugh and laugh to live.